This month on Patreon, we're playing the unusual game Flower. Now, historically, video games have been about exciting battles, violent competition, but Flower takes us to a space that's more meditative, poetic, and almost therapeutic. It's available on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, and there you play it with a controller. It's also available on iOS, on iPhone and iPad, and there you just tilt the screen to control. I think it still is best on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 because it gives you that immersive experience in the room on your big screen. At first, Flower almost doesn't seem like it's a game at all. You're exploring this beautiful hillside where the wind blows down the valley and through the long grass, and you see it moving all around you, but then in the distance you start to discover other flowers that you can visit and touch with the petal. You press a button and it blows a breeze, and that determines the direction of movement of your flower petal. If you get your petal to touch other flowers, they bloom into life and you have another petal added to your flock. Now, hidden areas open up as you find these flowers, and you are gently led off to the horizon and on a journey through this landscape. Like many interesting games, Flower almost seems like it's not a video game at all, maybe an interactive painting or a work of art. But slowly the experience turns into a video game. You learn to control your swarm of petals through the landscape and race around, hugging each hill and berm as you efficiently collect all the petals. There are hidden flowers to find, there's secret locations that you can only get to if you complete things in the right order. And as you progress, the game takes you on a journey from the countryside to the city and tells a story about technology and creation and landscape and electricity and how these maybe compete and have to work together. The game takes around 3 hours to complete, and I'd encourage you to play it when you have a quiet half an hour. Treat it like a meditation or a time to escape the busyness of your day, and you get much more out of it. Whether you've played the game before or this is your first experience with it, do share your thoughts on Patreon in our Game Club post. I'm really looking forward to discovering what you make of it, because this is a game that requires interpretation. Each person that plays it will find something different. If you've enjoyed this and you want more, you can try the developer's next game, Journey, which takes you to an ancient and mysterious desert on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 again. In that space, you control a hooded Bedouin-style figure, and you explore the landscape, and every now and again you're visited by other players. You can't talk to each other directly, but you can make sounds and you can observe each other. And what you'll find as a novice player in Journey is that experts soon recognise you and lead you in the right direction so you can progress your game. Now, I think these games are particularly interesting for how they fit in mainstream cultural locations. I've exhibited Flower and Journey at arts festivals and even used them in ancient cathedral services to extend the act of worship to virtual spaces. As you can see, there's a natural synergy about what's happening on the screen and what's happening in these sacred spaces. It felt natural to use them in these contexts because of their earthy, rooted nature and unusual interactions, but also that they were easy for everybody there to access and to play. There's about to be a new game in this series coming from the developer for the iPhone and iPad that's called Sky. It continues the themes of their previous game, but here it offers an ever-expanding world above the clouds that's filled with light and darkness, and it has this candle mechanic where players have to take their light and share it with other people. It's specifically intended for families, and your goal is to collaborate with others to unearth the buried mysteries in this kingdom. You have to use these candles and the others that you meet in the game to spread the light throughout the kingdom that you explore as you encounter a cast of characters and creatures that will help you along your way. Now, as with each of the games we play on the Patreon, I recently sat down with Genova Chen, the creator of Flower and Journey and Sky, and spoke to him exclusively about the roots and aspirations of these games.
Journey is a game about struggle and the beauty of struggle and transcends. And by playing the game, they see hope. I think it's a game of hope. They see the beauty of life, and they told us it gives them strength to continue to live on.
And they also talked about his development in the studio from initial games Cloud and Flow on to creating Flower that we play today and Journey and their new game Sky. This video has been made possible by the families that support me on Patreon. If you'd like to join our community, for $1 a month you get a weekly newsletter and video in your inbox, and make these videos possible for other families.